let's get on to top 10 things. Now, some of these might seem a little bit self-explanatory. However, when I was reading through the research, there's a lot of things on there that I wish I'd actually taken to uni. And the first one seems simple, but it's a doorstop. And this actually is very self-explanatory when you think about it, in that you want your door in your flat, if you are sharing with people, to be open. It gives the view that you are ready to make friends and mingle, and you want people to come and approach you. If you've got a closed door, it kind of gives off the vibe of don't speak to me, I just want to be in my room alone. But having that doorstop can actually be the first step at helping you to make friends in that quite awkward and uncomfortable environment. So seems simple, but fork out a couple of quid and get yourself a doorstop, because I really think that that is a really great thing to take. Second of all, again, seems self-explanatory, but a clothes error. Not a lot of universities offer tumble dryers. Some do, some don't. And especially in the winter months, you want to make sure that you air your clothes out and they're not getting damp, they're not getting smelly, that kind of thing. And just a personal tip as well, a lot of brands will do heated clothes areas as well, which I've actually got at home, which is really great for over winter. A lot of your electric and everything will be included in your accommodation costs. So you do plug it in, but it shouldn't be too expensive to be able to have a heated clothes area. And again, really quite cost effective, better than a tumble dryer in terms of money and time. And it means that you can get things dried in your room. Third one, again, self-explanatory, but a lot of people forget about it, is a nice little first aid kit or a medicine box. You'll need paracetamol for that headache after, some freshers events. You'll need some cold and flu medicine for your freshers flu, allergy tablets for over the summer, plasters for blisters, for wearing new heels or shoes on your nights out. So having a little first aid kit can be really handy, because unfortunately, mum, dad or guardian are not going to be there to give you your Lemsip when you need it anymore. You've got to get that for yourself. So a little medicine thing is really helpful. And on a more adult thing, I guess, documentation. So making sure that you've got your passport, that you've got all of your information for your student accommodation, your student loan, any visa documents or sponsorship documents are very important. Making sure you've got that all to hand on a file in your room as well, so they're there where needed. Number 5, sewing kit. I've actually still got the sewing kit that my mum gave me when I went to university, and it's never been opened, but it's there for emergency purposes. So if you are quite inclined at stuff like that and you can repair your own clothes, much more cost effective than going out and buying new ones. So a lot of the time you can get little kits that are already made up on Amazon or other websites that are quite cheap and are always good for that if you need it. Something that's really useful is an extension lead. Often in university accommodation, you'll only have a couple of plugs, and you might have your television, your phone, an iPad, hairdryer, lights, you name it, and only 2 plugs, which is the most frustrating thing ever. And your heated clothes area as well, if you get one of them. So having an extension lead is super helpful, because it means you can get a lot of things plugged in at once. IKEA do one for, I think, £2.49 for 4. So that's a super good bargain, and it'll really help you out as well. And home comforts, I want to come to you two here. Jo, if you were moving away somewhere now, what's the one thing that you would take with you?
Oh, great question. Because I'm a real advocate for the field that I work in, like my comforts are books. Now, I know that might seem like self-explanatory to a student, but I just planning and books, because that seems to be like the home comfort for me. I mean, the one thing that's jumped out straight away for me on this list, it comes down to one key term, really, and that's preparation. And it's so important, because when you're going into university, essentially you're going into a whole new environment. You're going to have lots of things competing for your time. There's going to be lots of challenges. You're going to be going to new classes, meeting new people, trying to balance a social life, trying to do your studies. There's all this type of thing going on. So for me, it all comes down to preparation. So the more you can prepare, and the more you can be ready in advance for these challenges, and the more it's going to serve you, really. So I'd be really thinking about that aspect, like how can I best prepare for my university experience? And sometimes the little things that we do, it's like a simple morning routine for our well-being, or a simple shutdown routine, which might be something like prior to the next day, understand where your class is the next day, and make sure you've got your books out ready, and make sure you're packed, because it's just going to give you that little bit of advantage and keep you balanced, really, because to excel at university, you want to feel great mentally, and you want to get that experience as well. So yeah, it all falls under preparation for me, and that's probably a little bit biased because it's what I do, but it's been a lifesaver for me. So yeah, preparation is key.
So Joe's taking books. Lucy, what are you taking?
I'd say, like, obviously to make the like student halls feel a bit more like home, I think that, say, if you had like a candle or maybe like some shower gel that you always use at home, like, you know, just having those smells in your accommodation, it sort of brings back the like home feeling, and like you'll feel a lot more comfortable in your halls, like you'll settle in a lot quicker. So I'd definitely say like a candle that you've already got at home, or like say if you've got like a favorite shower gel, something like that, just to sort of make it feel a bit more like home when you first move in.
That's a great point. And adjusting to your environment as well is always nice if you've got that familiarity around you. I know that when I went to uni, there was a big pin board on my wall that just came as part of the accommodation. And I just filled that with pictures of family and friends and, you know, nice little fairy lights, things to make my dorm room feel like mine. So that's, you know, that's a really great point, is making sure that it feels familiar. Moving on now to games. Again, we don't want to take every single edition of Monopoly that there ever has been, but a deck of cards, maybe a couple of board games, again, is a really nice way to help you mingle and get to know the people in your flat or your home where you're going to be staying. So definitely have a think about some games that it is that you would like to take, whether they be games to play with a multiple of people or, you know, 2 people. It is very good to take. Number 9, self-explanatory, umbrella. Unfortunately, the majority of us will be in the UK and it rains all the time. And if you do have to walk to your lectures, there's nothing worse than getting there looking absolutely soaking. It doesn't give the best first impression when you're trying to make mates. So get yourself an umbrella from Poundland. It'll last you a while. Self-explanatory, really. And finally, a strong bag. It can be a fashionable bag. It doesn't have to be a gigantic rucksack, but something that you're going to be able to get all of your belongings in, your books, your iPad, your laptop, whatever it is, and try and make sure that it's waterproof again, just to make sure that everything stays safe inside. But those from the research are the top 10 things to take with you to university. So I hope that there's something on there that you didn't think about packing that you're now going to go away and get sorted before you go in a couple of weeks' time.